Okay, so the main question now is what next? Marks pretty much define, and let's face it, this is not an ideal world where everyone should be judged only by their talents and you could be an artistic child, etc. At the end of the day, we are recognized and we are valued by the marks that we get, especially in our board exams. Now, marking is going to be a critical issue. How is it going to be decided? How many marks a person gets? And will that affect the future of the children who this year could not appear for the board exams for class 12? Dr. Lakshmi Kumar, director at the Orchid School, is joining us. Vishnu Karthik, CEO of the Heritage Group of Schools. Avneeta Bir, director, principal at the R.N. Poddar School, and Ria, who is a class 12 student, are already live with us. We're also going to be joined by two more experts, but I want to first go across to you, Dr. Lakshmi Kumar. Is this a good move or a bad move? And let's talk practically now. Of course, everyone's celebrating, they're rejoicing, they're saying it's an excellent decision. But do you really think in a competitive country like ours, where a student will not have a mark and everyone will pretty much be the equal, this is a good idea?
I think we need to view this decision in current context and not beyond that. The current context is the pandemic, and saving lives are very, very important. And that alone must decide that it is the right move. There's nothing good or bad about it. It's the most appropriate move that we can give it to our students. Because, in the long term, it is going to reduce the anxiety. The ambivalence has been killing them. And kids have been extremely worried about missing out on the, higher education. A lot of students have gotten their admissions. So this is the right move, most appropriate move. And we need to view it in the backdrop of the pandemic and the wave that we have been.
Okay, you're saying, ma'am, it is going to reduce the anxiety. But will it really? Because at the end of the day, the main thing that somebody will be interested in, how am I going to be marked? How does this affect my future prospects? What do you think, Professor C.B. Sharma? Will this have no effect on somebody's future prospects, the colleges we get into, etc.?
Thank you very much. I think very timely, but I believe I'll be the odd man out.
I believe I will be the only one who is not really very happy as an educationist with this decision. We must assess the students. They have been working for this exam for the last 4 or 5 years. I quite understand as a teacher, as a parent, health and safety of children, my students is primary, but we had to make preparation for it. Because we didn't prepare for it, we didn't do the homework. Everybody is saying, very good decision. Wait for some time. Your students will come and tell you, what have you done to me? I have worked for 5 years and you are going to hand me over a certificate which somebody is also holding who has not worked for 4 or 5 years, who doesn't deserve to have it. 95% of the students will get 97% marks in this country this time, and those who worked hard for all these will feel cheated. What I would say is, we should have staggered the exam. We should have spread the exam over 4 or 5 months. Let the students appear on demand. We have been doing on-demand exam in this country. We didn't learn from it. Why do you want to see in binary oppositions? Either exam or no exam. Some want to appear, some don't want to appear. Those who want to appear, let them appear and get a valid and reliable certificate. But you didn't give them the chance. I don't know what will be the objective criterion for assessing students and certifying, but then your 10th you have issued, the CBSE has issued a 7-page criteria for assessing and certifying. The schools are not agreeing to it. And students also are not accepting it because they say, someone has got less marks than me, but I don't agree with it. You have opened a Pandora's box. You had the provision, you had the whereabouts where you could have handled this situation much better.
Dr. Lakshmi Kumar, would you like to respond to that before I bring in the other guests as well? It's a Pandora's box. And if I may add to that, today's press release says the class 12 results will be made as per a well-defined objective criteria in a time-bound manner. Now, what is an objective criteria? The best criteria to your mind?
See, let me just respond to it. When I said, like I said, this is not a binary decision of right or wrong. It will open Pandora's box either ways. Whatever decision we have made, there will be an outcome. To conduct exams while the second wave is not even subsided, or to stagger it for the next 5-6 months means entire academic year we would be dragging the students will have a set of outcome. So it's only about weighing the outcomes and seeing what could be more appropriate. So I'm not going to take a position of this whole black, white, right, wrong. We need to look at it in a systemic way. And our students cannot wait for another August, September, October to write the exam, and then maybe December. I mean, this is what happened this academic year. Students got into engineering colleges in the month of December, November, and students for grade 11 got in the month of November in Maharashtra. And what are we talking about? Shrinking an entire academic year. Every decision that we make will have an outcome. So it is only time that will say whether this outcome was better than risking the lives. So I'm coming from that point of view.
Okay, so you're saying time will tell, but that seems too much of a gamble, if I may say so. Vishnu Karthik, when one says, here is a decision that has been taken, now let's see what happens. It seems too much of a gamble.
No, let me say this. We are also contradicting ourselves as the government,
Sorry, can I just complete my thought?
Dr. Kumar, let Dr. Lakshmi Kumar finish her point. Yes, then I'll bring you in, Vishnu Karthik. Yes, Dr. Kumar, finish your point.
No, I'm just saying that, there has been too many contradictions. We don't want to go out. We have had lockdowns, we have had restrictions, we have had mobility issues because, it's not safe. And then we are asking the students to come to the examination hall to write, and we are expecting our entire administrators and the adult community to serve. There is also a contradiction in that if we are going to do it in the current context. Yeah, I rest my case.
Okay. Yes, Vishnu Karthik.
Padmaja, I want to
could there have been alternatives
couple of points. In fact, I want to agree with both of them. Yeah, I'm going to come to that. There are two aspects to this. First thing first, I completely agree with my fellow panelist that, in moments like these, any decision, a decisive decision is better than a perfect solution. Because these are unseen times before. There are a lot of parents, students have a lot of anxiety. The first priority right now is to assuage their anxiety and uncertainty. A decisive decision, however imperfect might be, still has a certain utility today. So we should appreciate the government. Keep in mind, our CBSE academic years ended 2 months back. We're still waiting for a decision. Contrast this with the international curriculum, the International Baccalaureate and the Cambridge. Their programs ended only last week, but they gave assessment criteria 2 months back. Despite the fact many geographies for Cambridge and International Baccalaureate have physical exams, yet they are better prepared. So our CBSE students are going through stress, and also let's recognize CBSE is not the largest grade 12 board in this country. It only has about 1.2, 1.3 million children. 10 times more children are in state boards, and there is absolute uncertainty for those children too. We only started CBSE. Okay, that's one part. So I think some decision is good, but I agree with the professor what he said. I think they opened a Pandora's box. CBSE historically has not done a great job of internal assessments. That's a fact. In fact, I authored a paper 5 years back. There are structural and legacy issues CBSE has where it has not been able to strengthen its internal assessments. In an international curriculum, for example, they have something called formative assessments. They are much stronger. They are all through the year, low stake, and there are internal. And whatever a student gets on those grades over 2 years, 11 and 12, fairly predicts the grade 12 final exam scores. It's amazing how the rigorous system international curriculums have been to do. In CBSE, case in point, even in a typical year, there is no correlation between a student's internal exams and the final grade 12 board exams. Look at the practical exams. A child can get marks in a final exam. The practical exam can be full marks. So CBSE does not have institutional capacity to do that, and you can't even correct it in 1-2 years' time. It's like building stamina, or it's like building good health. It's a long-term solution. It will take 5-7 years for CBSE to put that in place. So my trouble is, of course, most
so now let me ask you, I think everyone watching right now 100% agrees with the shortcomings that you've pointed out. In that view, if I may just slip in one question which you can also address then, keeping in mind all of this, the problems with internal assessment, etc., that you've pointed out, what is a well-defined objective criteria under which the results should now be calculated, according to you? What is this objective criteria?
I just wrote a paper and put it on Twitter yesterday, and I had about 3,000 students responding back to it. Frankly, there's no answer, and I'm clueless. Because given the fact that there has been inconsistencies historically in CBSE with all of its internal assessment. Remember, when grade 10 board exams were transferred to internal assessment in the previous government, there was significant grade inflation in grade 10. Every kid actually ended up getting 80s and 90s. And then when they brought it to the standardized board exam, the grades fell down. Look at the practical exam. It's a joke. Even today, even pre-COVID, there is no correlation between what a child gets in practicals and what a child can get in the theory exam. There is no correlation. Ideally, there should be correlation. CBSE has not invested in any statistical technologies or moderation protocols, which any testing agency should do. So we are completely not ready for this situation right now. Frankly, the best solution I felt was, what I wrote yesterday was, one, be decisive to cancel the exams. At least students know that they don't have to hang out with the books. And it's also a populist thing. I tend to disagree with professors that students will get upset. They won't get upset because 99% of the students are not toppers. They'll be very relieved they don't have to study. It's the 1 to 5% who actually really work hard, who really want, they will be shortchanged for sure. And that they are the casualty of the system. Second, my solution is that postpone this as much as possible. Maybe in September, October, you issue internal exams also, because a lot of kids, about 25,000 students, go abroad for undergraduate studies. So you can issue an internal exam mark sheet based on internal assessments. But give a choice to students to write an exam later in October, November, December, post-vaccination, or whatever it might be. That brings to another challenge you rightfully pointed out. The objective of all of these is university admissions. Now, how are you going to standardize university admissions across CBSE, across state boards, which has not been successful at all in the last 10 years? Every state board, for example, what if UP, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Kerala decide to give... I will come to that
point in detail.
How will you take admissions?
Yeah, I think the point of agreement between you and Professor Sharma is that there should be at least an exam on demand. And if I may say so, that was rather brutal of you to say that 99% are not toppers. So most of them will be celebrating. A lot of children celebrating today will feel slightly guilty about that.
So
it's a joke. It's a joke. But let me get in, Avneeta.
I should clarify this. As a parent, I'm very relieved. But as an educator who's invested in the system, I'm a little disappointed. I know this is going to lead to more loss of credibility of the institution of assessment itself.
Exactly.
So, Avneeta Baid, let's put our heads together, because the criteria for marking is yet to be spelled out by the government, and I think that devil is going to be in that detail. What, according to you, is the best solution? Because even as we speak, there are several states who have decided to go ahead with their state boards. Chhattisgarh, in fact, has a formula where you take your paper home for 5 days and come back and submit it. Now, let me paint a picture for our viewers, where here I am, a student coming from the Chhattisgarh board, and there is another student for CBSE who may have prepared himself or herself for the last 6 months but wasn't allowed to give the exam. Can the two of them both apply to the Delhi University, for example? And how is that fair? What do we do for this CBSE class 12 student to make him or her at par with others who are being allowed to give their exams?
Very, very fair question, I must say, because that is a question that I was trying to grapple with myself. That Chhattisgarh, of course, has come out with some very novel solution. I'm still very curious to know what kind of exam was it that the children were allowed to take the paper home and sit with it for 5 days, and how are they going to be judging the credibility of that answer paper? I mean, I'm very curious to know what kind of question paper have they set, because nobody's talked about that. That said, I definitely feel that we need to have parity across the board, because these are children where this is an exam where it's the relative performance, it's not the absolute performance of the student that is at stake, because all of them are competing for the same limited seats across the country, right? So they are going to feel, the CBSE students will feel, especially if internal assessment marks are not going to be good. And we know that grade 11 and 12 internal assessments are not the most ideal marks that the child gets. I mean, they're looked at as stepping stones towards the final exam. As an educator, I have told my children, don't worry so much about how you perform. Look at it as a part of learning, and diagnosing your your own performance, and move towards the final exam, and that's your final, your destination in that sense. But so, having lived with that system and now not giving them the opportunity to perform, for an exam which is going to be so critical for them. So my way forward would be, and I don't know, whether it's going to be taken or not, is that even now, if the board could give the schools a standardized guideline, on how to conduct an internal assessment. Let it not be a public exam, let it be an online, whatever, but let us get some kind of a standardization in the internal assessment. Let all schools be on the same, at the same level. There has to be parity there, because there are schools which have not conducted any internal exam. There are schools which children haven't attended online classes. So I feel that this year has been exceptional in the sense that children haven't even done their internal assessments in a very credible manner. So how are we going to evaluate them? And that's going to be a very big challenge. And even as we speak, let me tell you that between the time the announcement was made and now, I have got so many, and our teachers have been receiving messages from parents and students saying, can we do an improvement exam? I didn't do this exam well. So can we do a retest? So where does it end? So I just feel that, of course, looking at the relief and the cheerful faces of the students, I'm very happy, but I feel that this euphoria is not going to last very long, because when we start to objectively evaluate our children, and I know that even with the 10th standard, we are still struggling, and that's not even such a high stakes exam as the grade 12, because this is a gateway to college. So it's going to be a huge challenge, a Herculean task to tabulate their performance in an objective manner.
Interesting suggestions. One, that there be an internal assessment, not to be carried out at the level of the CBSE, but more localized, and an exam on demand, perhaps later in October when things are slightly better. For students who are all celebrating and they have put their books away, these suggestions are going to set alarm bells ringing, at least as of today. So let's put this to the students who are live with us now. Ria and Hriday, both class 12 students. Ria, would you be open to a possibility where your school offered you an option that either we take an aggregate of your class 9, 10, 11 marks, or you can appear for an examination internal? What would you prefer?
Well, I would definitely not prefer to be graded on the basis of 9, 10, 11, because lots and lots of students of India have definitely changed their stream or their subjects after class 10, as we are supposed to do. And I'm a commerce student. Being a commerce student, I definitely did not study business studies or accountancy in class 9, 10, 10. So I would definitely not be in favor of being graded on the basis of 9, 10, 11. And even in class 11, lots of people tend to change their subjects or even their streams after 11. So instead of that, I would definitely sit for an internal assessment, which would be much more logical for me.
And are you saying that because your parents are watching you on TV right now?
Well, no, that's just my own opinion. Yeah, they are definitely, it's a great moment for me to be on Times Now.
I'm just joking with you, Ria. It's okay. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see people smile usually on TV. Hriday, what about you? Would you want an examination later in the year, or maybe internal assessment sometime in the next few months?
I think so. Giving result or making result on the basis of 9th and 11th is not fair, because 9th is the most toughest class. in my opinion, because
Yes, Hriday, go on.
am I not?
We can hear you.
Am I not audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, you're audible now.
Because
Go on, Hriday.
in my point of view, ninth is the most toughest class. All right, the more concept, the theorems of mathematics, and I'm an art student. All right, humanities. I've changed my subjects in 11th. All right, so I don't think so. It will be a fair and more selective way to evaluate our marks on the basis of 9th and 11th. More of, I can give a suggestion that you can do some kind of internal assessment, like how many times we students have attended the classes, responses in the class. All right, these kind of suggestions would be better rather than evaluating our examination marks on the basis of 9th or 11th.
Can I say
Interesting.
something?
Professor Sharma, you wanted to respond.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, just a second. Professor Sharma.
Too much of a gamble. I love that.
CBSE or state
too much
boards.
of a gamble. It is a
Actually
gamble.
lies with the university admission.
I'm very happy.
Gentlemen, one by one, please. Professor Sharma first, and then I'll come to Dr. Kumar and Vishnu Karthik, please. Professor Sharma, you go first.
I love that expression, too much of a gamble. The student sitting here is not ready to appear for the board exam, but she is ready to appear for the internal exams conducted at the school. So that means you are ready to go to school, write your exam as an internal, not as a board exam.
No,
Now this is unacceptable.
I am talking about.
One second. Wait a minute. Your turn will come. Wait a minute.
Yes.
See, now Chhattisgarh has declared that we have given, and I mean, they have already gone ahead with it. This issue has become political. The Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, immediately after Prime Minister declared that there would be no exam, came on television and said, I congratulate the students of the country. Why did he not congratulate the Prime Minister? Because what I feel is, 10th, 11th, 12th students are voters of 2024. And you are looking at pleasing them for 2024 and not really caring for their future. This decision is going to impact them for life.
I think everyone now suddenly, you really have set the cat among the pigeons with that opinion. So let everybody who wants to respond to you almost immediately, Professor Sharma. Yes, Vishnu Karthik, you go first.
Solution. Yeah. So one thing I have to I'm not going to get into the argument whether it's political or not. Of course, all assessments around the world in high-stake examinations are political. If you not recognize that, let's wake up to that fact. Every year you see CBSE grades going up and up. It's not the students are getting better and better. It's just, if it goes down, it's a political time bomb. And that's true across the world. High-stake exams always has something called grade inflation. Just the way GDP grows up, even scores has to go up. So there's nothing new about using assessment as political tools. It is, and it's a reality too, and we have to appreciate the compulsions of the governments in the time. But let's come back to the solutions. I'm really glad that the students voice their opinions out. But what is the solution right now? This one key thing is we are focusing on what schools have to do, but that's not where the problem is. You can give any grade, Chhattisgarh or Tamil Nadu can do whatever they want to, but the fact is, universities have to have a consistent method to admit students. That's the proof of the pudding. Now, the way to do this is there is something AIU, Association of Indian Universities, which under the Ministry of Education, they will have to put their heads together and say, how am I, irrespective of different examination patterns, how am I going to standardize it when I'm assessing students from different books? That's where the real challenge is. We have to redefine the problem. The problem is not cancelling exams.
AIU doesn't have that mandate. And it doesn't have the expertise to do that.
This is an extraordinary year. If not for AIU, at least find a way through MOE and tell every university to follow a consistent pattern of admission.
If you're talking about standardization, maybe have entrance exams across the board, Dr. Lakshmi Kumar, irrespective of which university, which college, which course, let all of them have entrance exams. None of those nightmarish cutoffs, let's do away with those cutoffs only.
Padmaja, we have been so much in love with this one board exam, this highly standardized, high-stake exam, that we have not been able to respond to the current situation. As Avneeta mentioned, that current situation, we have had students who have had no access to classroom. They have not attended a single lecture. They have not had any course material. People have been completely displaced and they have not done one practical. And we are now coming with another simple one solution that fits all. Look at extraordinary diversity of the students right now. They are stuck in different locations, different contexts. So I think if we don't give them 2-3 options, that, and first of all, I think the students mentioned that it should be online, and I don't think they mentioned coming to school to write. We can't, cancel the exam and then say come to school to write. That will be such a stupid thing to do. But what we need to right now look at is, as Karthik was saying, what is the solution ahead? And I think the problem has to be redefined. The problem is not about this exam. Problem is not about the cancellation. What's the roadmap ahead? Do we, and it's the world
so
problem.
If I may repeat myself, do you think entrance exams across the board is possible and ideal?
Entrance exams for different courses by different universities, which is already the case with most of the professional colleges. And most of the international universities have already finalized. In fact, they have waived off this course. And they said, give us a predictive score and then you have an exam certificate. So, and what is left is probably the pure sciences and the BA and BCom and, those kinds, which I think we can build on a new criteria. University Grant Commission should right now sit together, and it's not a single, state or a single country problem. This would be viewed in the context of COVID. So I think we need to look at customizing the solutions rather than, again, from one exam, high-stake exam, now we remove it to one more solutions, not understanding students have not attended classes. Lot of them have not had access.
I think these are some very reasonable and practical solutions. I am running out of time, so I want to give the remaining time to Ria and Hriday. Yes, parting thoughts, Ria, you first and then Hriday.
Sure. So, ma'am, I would definitely like to question the great personality sitting in the panel right now who question that students can get into the political matters. Like just he said that he congratulated the students, not PM Modi. So I would like to address to that point that I think we trustees are enough matured to get to the fact that we shouldn't be influenced politically. We know which government to choose in the coming elections, and also at the same time, I didn't mention that we want to give offline exams. We all were totally against offline examinations. Being marked internally through online examinations, or the school teachers providing us, grades on the basis of performance throughout the year can also be an alternative. At the same time, the CBSE, because there are so many questions being raised against CBSE right now, one thing which we can totally accept is CBSE can give 3 alternative options to the students openly, where we get to choose our option regarding or according to our comfortability. The first option can be definitely the ones who want to be graded on internal basis of class 12. Secondly, the ones who are not satisfied with their internal assessment because some might have not been able to attend classes due to connectivity issue or whatsoever, they can definitely go ahead with online examinations. And at the same time, the ones who are in very much favor of board examinations to be held offline after the situation settles and everybody is vaccinated equally, they can definitely go ahead and sit for offline examinations. But I think that we all should be given a chance, and I totally support whatever decision our Honorable Prime Minister has taken today.
Well, on that note, I'm unfortunately completely out of time. So, Hriday, sorry, your time was taken up by Ria, who has the makings of a good politician, taking on the criticism, giving a bulleted rebuttal to all the criticism, and putting her opinion out there. Thanks very much, everyone, for having joined us, and good luck both to you and Ria and Hriday for whatever the future holds. Thanks for watching.